So recently, a lot of people have been really enjoying the version 1.3 update. Well, unless you're Red, New, or Cap. But again, most people have been enjoying the update, and that's actually really great to see. Obviously, Wuthering Waves has had a couple of filler patches in the past, which got a lot of people worried in terms of revenue, and also just in terms of gameplay, whether this was going to be the standard for the rest of the game. And then Courier Games finally hit us with the Black Shores, and it was absolutely insane. It's actually improved a lot of people's faith in the game. But obviously, with it doing so good and it being so popular, there's going to be a couple of haters out there. And recently, there's been an increase in misinformation and also blocking of people talking about the update overall, which I really wanted to talk about in this video and just kind of show you guys the kind of misinformation and hatred spread online just over a game being good and a game competing with, someone else's favorite gacha game, which I think is absolutely absurd. And so as I said, we're going to be going into it. But before I begin this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And also go over and follow my Twitch where you can get notified whenever I go live, because again, I've actually been stepping up my Twitch game a little bit. We're going to be going live playing some Wuthering Waves and also reacting to some Wuthering Waves content, as well as some other gacha content as well, which I think you guys would really enjoy. So I definitely recommend checking out the pinned comment or the description below where my Twitch will be linked. And yeah, just give me a follow so you get notified whenever I go live. But let's get back into the video. So I just want to preface this video by saying that obviously I love Wuthering Waves a lot, and it does have its flaws and it does have its positives. I can totally get why a lot of people don't like the game and don't enjoy it, but just to go out there and spread hatred and misinformation just because you don't like a game is absolutely crazy. Now obviously, you can spread, negative stuff about the game. That's totally fine. I think that, it's an important conversation. You see me do that on the channel a lot, and I get heavily disliked for it, but I don't care. I do like saying what it is whenever it comes to Wuthering Waves. If it's doing bad or it's doing something bad, then I will point it out, and I think that's totally fine. But it seems that these people have no intention of actually improving the game, and they actually just hate the game in general, and just for some reason think it's a good idea to do all of this. And as I said in the past, I like all other games too. I like Genshin Impact, I like Honkai Star Rail, I like a lot of Hoyoverse games. I also like a lot of other games outside of, Hoyoverse, Nikkei, Azure Lane, Snowbreak, Brown Dust. There's so many games that I play, and I like them all, to be honest. Obviously, I do have my negatives of a lot of them, some more than others, but again, I do enjoy playing them all. So I'm kind of in the middle here whenever it comes to, seeing a lot of this stuff happens, and we're going to start off with the first one being r/GachaGaming. Now, God, I've talked about this subreddit a lot on this channel. Obviously, you're probably getting fed up of me talking about it, but honestly, I just wanted to point this out because r/GachaGaming is a kind of overall term for gacha gaming in general. So a lot of people who enjoy gacha games, such as Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, or whatever, we'll go over to the subreddit and kind of look at some of the posts, whether, they know about its past or history or not. They have that kind of blanket term, so it does kind of bring in a lot of new people, so I definitely want to make people aware of how bad the subreddit is. So every time they mess up, I'm going to make it my job to, point it out and call them out for it, because as you can see here, they've actually got the Genshin Impact version 5.1, the Rainbow Destined to Burn. This is an update that's actually come out today, and I haven't actually had a chance to play it yet, but apparently, it's not as good as people thought it would be, and obviously a ton of people were very happy about that in the comments. But then we go over to another post, which is the Wuthering Waves version 1.3 official trailer for the Black Shores, which was out, about 2 weeks ago, just over 2 weeks ago, and this is locked. New comments can't be posted, and also it's only got 78 upvotes, and it also got taken down for a little while as well whenever it first came out, which again, people were saying based on mod decision and rule 6, I see that this is a major update for Wuthering Waves. That's it. You can see just above my head here, there's actually this rules bit which says some commonly shared content that is disallowed includes character trailers and new banner news, unless part of a collaboration, regular patch notes or content updates, main name trailers for new versions are allowed. So again, people just thought, okay, well that's because, it's not a major update. Obviously, if it was version 1.0, version 2.0, then they'll probably upload it and allow it, and that'd be totally fine. And honestly, I do think that's a fair enough rule. That's totally fine, and I definitely think if r/GachaGaming want to do that, that's on them. But the bad thing is, whenever it comes to the moderation and the overall handling of, which one is allowed on the subreddit and which one isn't, because if we have a quick rundown of what goes on in both of these updates, Genshin Impact, they have the new story coming out for Natlan, so it's kind of like a follow-up to the first story that came out in version 5.0. They have a couple of events too, like one of them being Nahida's birthday, which again, a lot of people kind of said that this was one of the worst updates from Genshin Impact that they've seen in a little while. Obviously, the story is pretty big, and that is probably the biggest factor of this update. But apart from, a new character and a story, that's about it. That's really not a big update, especially for Genshin Impact. Even Genshin Impact tried to kind of like pad it out a little bit. And Wuthering Waves, they have the whole Black Shores, they have the Shorekeeper, they have a ton of new events coming out as well as a ton of quality of life updates, which honestly, I would argue is bigger than the Genshin Impact update. I don't know if any of you guys would agree with me. Obviously, some people have their certain takes on this, like, oh, this part is bigger, this part is bigger. But Wuthering Waves, they had so much new content that I'm still playing today, that I definitely think it warrants being added to r/GachaGaming if 5.1 is allowed to be allowed. Because 5.1 honestly is a very slow update for Genshin Impact, and obviously they've been affected a lot by the strikes and stuff, which again I'll get into even more further in this video. But again, it seems crazy that they've allowed this to go on, but not Wuthering Waves version 1.3, and people were complaining saying that Genshin filler patches have more content than version 1.3, which is an absolutely crazy take. And it kind of shows you how deluded a lot of people are on r/GachaGaming. Again, they don't know what they're talking about. They are so dumb whenever it comes to the story, because again, they just like to shill Hoyoverse. Now, I have no problem with Genshin Impact. I like Genshin Impact. And honestly, I'm going to be playing the update after I finish this video and finish editing it. The problem is there's so many people not allowing people to speak about Wuthering Waves. You know, it's a locked post, you can't post any comments on it, but for some reason they're allowing Genshin Impact on it, which again obviously overall kind of hinders the talk around Wuthering Waves and kind of, you know, dampens down the overall hype for the update. And it seems like, you know, they're just not allowing discussions of Wuthering Waves on the subreddit, which can affect it negatively. Now, obviously it's not going to cause some massive player dip or anything like that. It's not that big of a deal. But it is a big deal whenever it comes to some of the existing players that are on this subreddit that want their game to be shown and also want to introduce it to some new people that are interested in GachaGaming because, you know, they are on r/GachaGaming, but they can't and they're being silenced by the moderators, whereas Genshin Impact get to put out their mid-updates. That just doesn't seem fair at all. But if that summary of Genshin Impact events that I went through sounded like enough to you, well, it's also important to learn that due to recording arrangements, some content in version 5.1 does not have English voiceovers. And then they say, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. So again, a lot of the story isn't even voiced in English, and you're telling me this is a bigger update than the Black Shores? Bro, that is absolutely crazy. I mean, Wuthering Waves managed to get all the necessary voice actors and all the necessary people to voice in the game, so they didn't have to make any of these cuts, but for some reason Genshin Impact struggles. Obviously there is a big voice actor strike going on at the moment, and this is why the voices have been, you know, affected. But it seems like Wuthering Waves have either A, they've kind of worked with the companies to improve the overall standards and work with the strike people, which I don't think is actually the case, because I think they actually work with a company in Britain over here in the UK, which don't have those kind of strike laws or anything like that. They're not obligated to go join the strike or anything like that because it's in a completely separate country. Whereas Hoyoverse, they just went, nah, you know what, you don't have English voiceovers, you can just, you know, struggle without them. And that's like a whole different video. Obviously, I'm not going to go into whether that's a good or bad thing. Obviously, it seems like they did have their hands tied there, and I'm not going to blame them so much for it. But the thing is, you're telling me this is a bigger update than version 1.3? That's absolutely crazy. And if you're saying that is a bigger update, you're delusional, because it definitely is. Now, obviously 1.2 and some previous updates, maybe you could argue it's a bigger version, but 1.3 in particular, definitely I think it is a bigger version than Genshin 5.1. Which again, I think the mods of r/GachaGaming should really sort themselves out here. And actually, you know, seeing as they've even done a collaboration with Wuthering Waves in the past, and taken their money, actually allowed this game to be talked about on their subreddit, I think that would be so much better, and it would create a much healthier discussion around Wuthering Waves. But again, they're just kind of locking posts and not letting people talk about it, which just sucks overall. Now, you know, I can't do anything about it, you can't do anything about it, and I'm just going to keep calling them out every single time that they do this, because it's absolutely ridiculous that, you know, they do something like this, especially whenever they, you know, claim to be kind of neutral towards a lot of gacha games, because it's clear they're not. You know, it's very clear, and a lot of people have already made up this decision that it's clear they're not. But there's still people, you know, who don't really understand the overall landscape of the gacha community, that don't really know how much misinformation and just overall, you know, kind of censorship there is on this subreddit. Like, it's pretty much censorship, you know? They're locking posts, not letting people talk about it, taking down posts. I don't know what these mods are on, but it's absolutely crazy. And finally, there was one more person that I wanted to talk about spreading misinformation, which was only a quick one, which I just wanted to highlight. It was a little bit of a while ago, but they said, disappointed to learn that we were cut the female rovers scene short with shorekeepers compared to male rover, lol. This game is really not for me, and they're pretty much saying that the MC being a self-insert kills them. So again, and obviously this kind of, you know, got a lot of people in the Wuthering Waves community mad, because obviously this is just blatant misinformation. And obviously community notes came in and actually corrected it, saying the cutscenes between rover and the shorekeeper are identical regardless of which gender they select. And then, you know, they have actual proof of it happening here, which again, I think is great. And it's really good that, you know, the community notes have come in and actually made this clear, because again, this is so stupid that someone is spreading this kind of misinformation. Bro, get a grip, get off Twitter, and just enjoy your life, man. Holy crap, it's absolutely insane that a lot of people just do this just because they don't like the game. Obviously, this person got shut down really quickly, so I am very thankful that they did. And there was some people that did get caught out in the replies saying, what, that's so unfair, what the fuck, both are rover. Which obviously, you know, they've just been fooled by the complete inaccuracy of this tweet. It's insane that people actually do this. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. I just wanted to really show you how much misinformation and how much people are just lying overall about Wuthering Waves on the internet at the moment just because it's doing good. Now, obviously, I want to remind you that Wuthering Waves is still doing great, and you know, a lot of people really enjoy it. And just to kind of ignore these people in the background that are trying to bring it down, because obviously, you know, they're gonna try spread whatever, you know, is possible to kind of bring this game down, but it's not gonna work. Because obviously, Wuthering Waves and Code Games just keep releasing really, really good updates, which is gonna make them even more angrier, which honestly, I think that's great. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think that the misinformation is getting worse, or do you think that it's staying about the same at the moment? I honestly think it's getting worse myself, but again, you might have a different opinion to that. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go to my Twitch. As I said, it'll be down in the pinned comment down below, or also in the description, so I definitely recommend checking that out to come join me live. I'll be going live more often, so you should see me going live maybe, you know, tonight on the night that the video comes out. But you know, go follow so you get the notification whenever I do go live, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.